Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, October the 15th, 2024. I'm going to cut right to the good stuff. Sam is the possible donor match. We knew that. We were wondering, how are they going to tie Sam into this? There's Gwatch. She's not going to something's going to happen with the surgery. Isaiah already, when he was talking to Elizabeth, was having a heart to heart. He said one of his patients died during the transplant surgery, died on the table. And from that day forward, he walked away from being a transplant surgeon. It shook him to the core. So I don't see them having him do something wrong to Sam because I kind of think Isaiah might be sticking a while around for a while. But perhaps he we don't know how they're going to do it because I'm making up a story. I don't know if the same doctor that extracts the piece of the liver, then they have to take it to the transplant doctor to put it in Lulu. I think that's who Isaiah is going to be. So hopefully Sam is not as patient, but we already know something's going to happen to her. Now, why are they just now finding out that it's her? We will probably find out tomorrow because you mean to tell me all this time Sam had not been tested all this time? Is it because they just knew Lucky was going to be the donor? Well, which is true. They really did not test a whole lot of people. But Dante was tested, remember? There were a definite number of initial people, you know, getting tested for Lulu before they found out Lucky wasn't viable. As a matter of fact, I think people started getting tested when they found out Nicholas could not be the donor. So we'll see how they, write this story as it unfolds. Interesting, though. I really like it. Well, Martin goes to see Lulu, and Laura's in there, and she's looking at him, and she's like, who are you? They were, doing the little pleasantries, and she goes, wait, I have just got to talk about this. What happened here? And he said he took him and, the Lucy situation hard. And when he left, he really had to look into, himself and do a makeover. So new hairdo, he's clean shaven now, hair's buzzed up, not buzzed, but cut shorter on the sides. And she goes, and what's with the new sound? See, Laura is the only one that has really mentioned Martin is not speaking with this heavy Southern accent. And he said that, my new voice is thanks to my vocal coach, Miss Finch, the same one who was um, Lois's coach. So that tied that up. He just wanted a whole new him. I think the actor that plays him, because I always think of him as Tad Martin, and I can't think of the actor's actual name, which I know it, but anyway, I think he was just tired of talking with that dialect, that Southern accent. And when he came back, he's like, let's remake him. Good. And remake him they did. So I'm happy with that. But anyway, they walked back into Lulu's room because they stepped out of Lulu's room to talk. And who's sitting there but Cyrus? He's reading passages to her. And Martin is like, what are you doing in here? And Laura says, Cyrus, I thought we had an agreement that you would clear it with me when you were going to come see Lulu. He says, well, I've been here visiting patients all day, And I thought I would find you in here, dear sister, but Lulu was alone. So I sat with her. And Laura said, well, thank you for keeping her company. And then Martin said, Cyrus, can I have speak to you a moment? I want to talk to you about Mama. So Cyrus gets up, oh, Mama, Mama, right? And he goes out, he goes, what about our mother? He goes, Mama's fine. She's doing great. Pretty much, I just want to get you out the room so Laura could be with her daughter. And he goes, Laura does not need this from you, Cyrus. And the thing is, Cyrus isn't doing anything. So I don't know what Martin means by Laura doesn't need this from you, right? At least Cyrus has been around. Where's Martin been? How long is Martin going to stay? His cases are over. Nobody knows, right? So Cyrus looked at him. He says, I'm doing more for our dear sister than she even knows. And when he said that, I thought, what's he doing? That was kind of cryptic to me. My mind, I'm thinking, is he going to be the donor? That's what I was thinking, right? Before they then, Terry told Sam, because that's what that picture is showing. Sam and Dante were at the batting range. She wanted Dante to start hitting some balls just to release some of his stress. And they talked, and I fast forwarded the conversation, but they talked and ate hot dogs. But anyway, that was interesting. So Sam got a call from Terry. Dante was going to go and see Lulu anyway. So him and Sam went to GH together. Sam went to Terry's office. Dante went to go see Lulu. So we also have, well, Liz and Isaiah, I spoke about that. They talked, and that's how she found out a bit about his history. They're throwing in this story. Cody wants to buy the huge property that he grew up on. Remember, his parents or his mother worked for a wealthy family um, before she married Leopold Tall, and they owned this huge property, kind of like the Quartermain estate. And it's up for sale, 6 million. Yeah, it's way out of his range. Now, when Sasha had money before Gladys squandered it all away, she could have bought it. But he was thinking of asking Tracy, but he didn't know. And Sasha's like, well, I don't know if you want to go to Tracy right now because he doesn't have a business plan together. Because she was saying, you know what, Cody, look, no, don't ask for a gift. Don't ask money, this money or Tracy to do this as a favor. Tracy likes you, but she's a businesswoman. You need to come correct, Cody. Because what Cody wants to do is he wants to make the facility a ranch and, have a lot of rescue animals and, just really do it up right. An animal sanctuary, which is what he wants to do, which is a great idea. So Sasha's like, let's get some numbers together. Just step back and let's get a real good plan together. But he still isn't thinking that way. He still wants to, oh, no, you're right. I shouldn't even think about it, blah, blah, blah. She says, that's not what I'm saying, Cody. You don't want to think about it as somebody giving you a loan or a gift. You need to think about investors. You want someone to invest in your project. And if that's the case, you have to have the proper documentation for it. So she's right there. We'll see where they go with that. Drew. See, Drew is still all for this. We got to oust Ned from ELQ. Michael, I got bigger plans for you. You need to be running ELQ. Well, my whole thing is since when does Drew make plans for everybody? Michael doesn't even work for Drew at Aurora. Michael is managing Sam's half of Aurora for Scout. Now, Drew has his own half. Okay. And of course, he says for Scout too. Scout's got a double dip going on. But Sam put Michael there. So, anyway, he's saying, no, no, Michael, I need you to devote full time to taking ELQ because apparently, when Valentine went on the run, they were able to effectively have all his shares of ELQ stock frozen because remember, they didn't want Valentine out there mass selling those shares, crippling the company, which was a good idea. So the SEC is about ready to release the shares in a couple of months back to the company. So Ned sat Drew down and said, look, I want to talk to you about what we should do with the shares coming back. And Drew says, well, guess what? Michael will be here in just a minute. But before Ned got there, Willow came running into the house with Michael's keys in her hand. And there's Drew standing there. And he was on the phone and he sees her. And so she looks and she goes, no, no, that's okay. So she's trying to head on out. And he cut that phone call way too lickety split short. And he goes, Willow, Willow, no, no, you don't have to leave. Willow. She goes, no, Michael left his keys. I thought I would find him in here. So I brought his keys to him. He goes, well, Michael's on his way here. I could give him the keys. And so Drew reaches out. You can't see it from my webcam. Reaches out his hands to Willow. Like he put them in my hand so I could grab them like I like to. Willow looked at him and she put the keys on the table and said, well, I got to get going. She turns to walk away. Willow, Willow, can we talk about this? See, what? I am so sick of the way they're writing Drew. I honestly do believe he does have ulterior motives. Can we talk about this? She's trying to leave, and you're trying to mess things up intentionally. So she's looking at him, and Ned comes in with his cup of coffee. And Willow looks at Ned. Now, she and Drew weren't close or nothing like that, but Ned is seeing the vibe, the chemistry. So Willow says, no, make sure you give Michael his keys. And she turns and she leaves. And then that's when Ned preliminary tried to talk to Drew. And Drew says, hey, Michael will be here any second. We can involve him in this conversation. And so Ned was like, well, are you sure? Because I know you have a lot of things to do. And he goes, well, I mean, I've got a few minutes. And Ned says, well, you know what? No, you're a busy man. Michael and I can hammer this whole, my proposal out without you. And Michael walks in. He goes, handle what? So Drew's like, Ned has something he wants to say. Now, Ned sits down and he goes, as you know, Valentine's shares are going to be sent back to the company. And Michael's like, yes, I got the email on that. And Ned says, my proposal is we divide the shares equally and we divide them amongst the next generation of Quartermaines. Leo gets a share because Leo's his adoptive son. Brooklyn, if she has any children, they will, be included in the shares. We've got Scout, we've got Michael's children, everybody's kids has a share. And so Drew says, but of course, the children won't be of voting age. And Ned says, oh, no, of course, I will control their votes, their proxy. And Drew looked at Ned, and I looked at Ned like, why would you control that amount of shares of all those kids? Collectively, they're not that many, right? He would have one share for Leo. Michael would have two, Wiley and Amelia. Drew would get one for Scout. And I'm trying to think of, yeah, we've got Danny, and we have Danny and what is, oh my goodness, not Aiden, because Aiden would not have a share, but Jason's son that went away, Jake. So Jason's will have two of the shares for his sons. So Michael and Jason's kids would have shares, except Jake probably is of voting age now. We shall see. Who cares about that? But anyway, Drew's looking at him and he goes, well, you know what? You're right. I do have something to do. Why don't we table that? And so he goes, well, we can't, we got to jump on it because once you're elected, all your shares in the companies have to go into a trust. And you would not want, we don't need those voting shares to be locked away into a trust. And so Drew says, well, no, all their shares would be locked away anyway. We would just have to name an executor of the trust. And Ned had the nerve to say, oh, well, that would be me. No. See, here's the deal. My thing is the stock is going to be split between adults that already have stock. Those adults would control the voting rights of their children's stock, period. Now, Drew could put scouts in a trust, but nobody else really would have to put their kids, I don't think. Now, I'm not a trust attorney, but I don't think the other kids would have to go in a trust. And if so, everybody could make their own trust. Michael, with his family, would, and his kid, he would have his own trust. Ned would have his own trust. Jason would have his own trust with those voting stocks. But to have one person, Ned Quartermain, who sold the company out to Valentine to begin with, be over it all? I think not. And I'm with them on that. No, that's a heck hard no. So anyway, he says, well, Michael, what do you think? And so Michael says, well, you know what? The stock won't be released back to us for another few months. I understand what you're saying about Drew and needing to make arrangements for scouts shares, but we don't have to rush and make a decision today. And so Ned is like, yeah, well, so much for us all making decisions together. And he goes puffing out of there, right? Now, my thing is, Ned, you weren't trying to make decisions together. You got them two there pretty much letting them know how the stock would be split up and who was going to be over it all. When in reality, the shares don't have to be issued and split between the kids because they already have shares. Scout already has ELQ shares that, oh, no, she doesn't. Sam gave them to Valentine to help her out of some situation. So no, Scout doesn't have any. He didn't have Jake's. He didn't have Jake's or Danny's. But anyway, that's going to be the division. So he goes huffing and puffing out, and Drew and Michael are talking, and Michael's like, you see the way, Drew came up with that plan? He goes, no, I wouldn't trust Ned. This is Drew telling Michael, I would not trust Ned with all of that control that he wants to have. Oh no, Michael, that's why we got to get you in control of ELQ. And I don't understand Drew's angle, but I agree with him on that. Michael was a better CEO running ELQ. Michael any company he gets sat in, he runs it very, very well. Then they had Brooklyn and Willow had conversation about, how she could proceed or should proceed with the school on Violet's behalf. So really good little, in-law conversation. So I liked that. Tracy does end up opening up to Olivia, saying she feels powerless because she's trying to bully the school still because she's got power over that. And Brooklyn's like, she needs to back off. Chase and I have it. So Olivia was talking to her about it. And Tracy ended up saying, you're right. I can't help Lulu. I can't help Finn. Finn has to help himself. Who, by the way, Brooklyn got a text from Chase. Finn is getting out. Now, I'm hoping they don't make Finn have an accident on the way home. I'm hoping they just recast Finn. I mean, they do not need to lose the character of Finn. And if they recast him with a whole new actor, that would give a whole new vibe and we could get some chemistry going. We'll see what they're going to do with Finn. So that's good. So there's some movement there. Um, and I think that's it. Nothing else happened. Yeah, that is it. So that was the episode. We'll see how the match is going to proceed with Sam, or how the donation is going to go. And tomorrow's episode should be pretty good. I'll be back tomorrow.